Hey YouTube, this is Zach with Achilles Financial, and today I want to show you a topic that I am super passionate about. This is essentially how anyone over a long period of time and with consistency can retire a millionaire. So when you're in high school, when you're in college, the idea of becoming a millionaire is a foreign concept. You may not see a lot of positivity surrounding the idea of the 1%, and I'm here to show you how one day you can be a part of that 1%, how through consistent dividend income you can become a millionaire. And I want to ask the question of why aren't more people doing this? So just as a disclaimer, everything that I show you is just my opinion, and this is something that I am very passionate about, so I am going to be encouraging you to do so. The other thing I want to highlight is you are not going to see what I do for drip income or dividend reinvestment program on Robinhood. I use my company 401k for this approach. So without further ado, what I have here on the screen is Vanguard High Dividend Yield ETF. Again, we've been focusing pretty heavily on the ETFs, and we're going to be in particular looking at the dividend capabilities of this particular ETF. So again, we can see over the course of a few years or over the course of the past few months, we have seen a depreciation. However, this is coming back quite nicely. We're only down 18% over the past few years. If I look back over the past 5 years, again, we saw healthy appreciation. We're now back to around 2016 levels, but this should continue to rise. However, you're not going to see a lot of huge growth out of high yield dividend accounts generally. So the thing that I want to show you is whenever you're utilizing Robinhood, you can scroll down to this about section and it will show you the dividend yield, and this is done on an annual basis. So this dividend yield is 3.55%. So now what we're going to do is switch over to a dividend calculator, and I want to show you what you can do with that 3.55% over a long period of time. So here we have a dividend calculator. I am utilizing marketbeat.com. I will put the link in the description below so that you can go out and give it a shot and see what you're capable of doing. So I'm going to show two different scenarios right here. One as hey, you are just starting fresh out of college, you're 21, 22 years old. The second is maybe you are a young professional who has a little bit more money to contribute and you're looking at doing it a little bit differently. So as you can see, we're looking at the investment type of a portfolio. We are going to say this is a taxable account, so it is not a 401k or a Roth IRA. What we're going to look at is dividend tax rate of 15%. The reason that we've selected 15% is this is a long-term capital gains tax, which unless it's over, I think the number right now is like $425,000 of real income, is going to be 15%. Anything over that 425,000, and I'll put an asterisk next to that, is going to be 20%. So if you said as a young 22-year-old that you were going to put $1,000 into the stock market, and we were looking at a 3.55% annual dividend yield that we're getting paid quarterly, which is, I'd say, the most common, and we're going to see that dividend increase 1% a year, which depending on the dividend, that can be low or high, and we're going to do $100 a month. And we expect to see that go up 5% annually. The reason we're not doing the market rate of 7% is because traditionally dividends or high yield dividend accounts don't appreciate as quickly because they turn that money around using dividends. This DRIP or Dividend Reinvestment Program means that instead of taking the cash from those dividends, we're going to reinvest it back into additional shares. So if you are 22 years old, that means that you are going to retire at currently the retirement age in the United States is 59 and a half. So we are going to say that we're going to wait 38 years for that, and now we're going to hit calculate dividend. So as you can see, we've got a few different graphs in terms of cost, in terms of the dollars that you're actually going to see, and in terms of your actual balance. So as you can see, at year 60, you're bringing in about $16,710 a year, and your total portfolio balance is $350,000. So that is a total return of 650%. And look at, again, you're making $158,000 in just dividends over the course of every year. The reason I like this particular calculator is you can see what your total payout is pretty easily just by looking at this information. So everything that you see right here, we're just throwing money in there, putting money in, putting money in. And you can see that increase over the course of 38 years. So all you're doing for this initial investment is $1,200 a year over 38 years. So that's $100 a month. Anyone here should be able to do that as long as you're working and investing appropriately. That puts you at $351,000, and you're bringing in a $18,500 a year income strictly from dividends. The reason that I love this is because all you're doing is paying yourself $100 a month to get this massive return. So that is initial. Let's say that we are now going to start with $5,000. Let's say you're 25, 26 years old. You are going to take the maximum that you can put in from a Roth IRA or your own individual IRA, individual retirement account. And we're going to keep all the same numbers here, but you're now 25, so we're going to change this to 35. This is no longer a taxable account, so we're doing annual contribution of $5,500. Everything else is the same. So let's see what happens there. So you saw that number. We just got a little cheat sheet. So if we're looking at this, you finish your account with $1.2 million. So this is not with if you have a work-sponsored 401k account with match, you don't have any other investments that you are doing. This is strictly paying yourself on a monthly basis, a couple $100. You're just putting it into this account. So what does this give you? You're making $62,000 a year off of dividends by the time you turn 60. And your average rate of return we're looking at right now is nearly 15%. Total return is 518%. So I just want to highlight this again. The numbers add up in particular really quickly over the course of the last year. I mean, you can see that this dividend just keeps increasing. So this is how you can become a millionaire by retirement age, is just go play with this dividend calculator just for fun. What happens if you don't take your money out and you wait another 5 years? You can now see we don't want your free dividend investing newsletter. You can now see that you have $2 million sitting in the bank. So this is generating wealth that you can pass on to your heirs, something you can give to a charity, or if you want to, you can go and spend it all as a 65-year-old. So lastly, we're just going to make the assumption, just so that everyone can see this, that you decide to wait until you're 75 years old. Again, please go play with this calculator. It's a lot of fun. For another 10 years, you take that from $2 million to $5 million. So this is after 50 years. It's crazy. And this is not a lot of money that you're putting in by yourself. I mean, look at this. You're at the end of all of this, you put in a couple $100,000, which again sounds like a lot. You can see this money going in, but oh my gosh. You can, again, you're just putting in annual contribution, $5,500, and you're walking away with $2.6 million, annual dividend income of $300,000 a year. Everything that you see here is precisely how Warren Buffett became super wealthy. So this is how you too can retire a millionaire and can leave this world with generational wealth as opposed to just your money. So if you guys have any questions over DRIP program or what some of the dividend stocks that I look at are, please drop a comment down below, leave a like and subscribe. Thank you, and I hope to see you all soon. Talk to you later.